Good morning, boys. Today we're starting off our online teaching with the topic of probability. Before we left off, when school closed, we had already started probability. We've done describing probability using words. We've done finding the exact probability by formula. We've done finding probability by experiment. And today we are going to do probability spaces. Now, sometimes in real life we are playing a game. We toss, we throw two things, let's say dice, spinners, coins, at the same time. And when we do so, probabilities increase. And to be able to not to miss any probabilities, we need to draw what we call a possibility space. It can even be called possibility space, probability space, sample space. They all mean the same thing. But the important thing is that probability spaces are used when two events happen at the same time, like two coins flipped together, two spinners spun together, two dice thrown together. When two events are occurring at the same time. They are important, they really help us, probability spaces really help us because we will be able to see all the possibilities, because possibilities when two events occur at the same time, as I said, increase. For example, let me give you an example. When I roll two dice, let's say I win or I can start to play. If I get a total of 7. Now, to get a total of 7, you can have a 1 from the first dice and a 6 from the second. They can be flipped over, that means a 7 from the first and a 1 from the second. I can have a 2 from the first and a 5 from the second. They can be flipped over by a 5 from the first and a 2 from the second. Then there is the 3 from the first and the 4 from the second. They can also be flipped over the 4 from the first and the 3 from the second dice. In all, you have 6 possibilities, six outcomes. Now, so that you can see them in front of you, you can see all the possibilities in front of you, we draw what we call a possibility space. Now, to help you understand better and how to do them, we're going to work out 3 examples. We're going to start from a very simple example, and then we are going to increase the number of possibilities by another example. The last of all is when you throw 2 dice together, because there you would have quite a number of possibilities. So let's start. Number 1. We have 2 coins in number 1, which are being tossed together. We have a 2-cent coin and a 5-cent coin tossed together, and we need to draw a possibility space. Now, when we toss a coin, there are 2 possibilities. Now, be it a 2-cent coin, be it a 5-cent coin, being another coin, there are only 2 possibilities. A coin can either land on a head or it can land on a tail. Mela, for the first coin, for the 2-cent coin, there are the 2 probabilities, either landing on a head or landing on a tail. For the 5-cent coin, the probabilities remain the same, either landing on a head or landing on a tail. Now, to draw a possibility space, I have to list all the possibilities of each coin. So I have a head and a tail for the 2-cent coin, and a head and a tail for the 5-cent coin. Now, I also need to label which coin I am referring to. Now, it does not matter where you put the 2-cent coin or the 5-cent coin, you can put, just like I did, the 2-cent coin horizontally and the 5-cent coin vertically or sideways, just like I did. Or you can flip them. You can put the 2-cent coin sideways and the 5-cent coin horizontally. You can flip them. But the important thing is that if you're going to start from the 2-cent coin, then you have to start from the 2-cent coin till the end of the probability space. On the other hand, if you've decided to start from the 5-cent coin, you need to start from the 5-cent coin till the end of the probability space. Now, so let's start to fill it up. Okay? Mela, to write the probabilities, we use a bracket. We write the probabilities in the bracket, and I'm going to start from the 2-cent coin. So I have to do that till the end of the possibility space. So I open a bracket. I open a bracket. From the 2-cent coin in the first column landed on a head. So I open a bracket, write H for head, comma, and the 5-cent coin, the row of the first row is the row of the heads of the 5-cent coin. So the first coin, the 2-cent coin, landed on a head, whereas the 5-cent coin landed on a head as well. In the box underneath, the 2-cent coin, as you can see, it's the column of the heads of the 2-cent coin. So I open a bracket, the 2-cent coin here landed on a head, whereas the 5-cent coin landed on a tail. Now, let's do the other box on the upper right. So, here, it's the column of the tails. So, the 2-cent coin landed on a tail, whereas the 5-cent coin landed on a head, because it is the row of the head. Now, in the box beneath, the 2-cent coin landed on a tail, whereas the 5-cent coin landed on a tail as well. Okay? As you can see, there are 4 possibilities, 4 outcomes. A head from the 2-cent coin, a head from the 5-cent coin, a head from the 2-cent coin, a tail from the 5-cent coin. If I get a tail from the 2-cent coin, then I can get a head from the 5-cent coin. If I get a tail from the 2-cent coin, then I can get another tail from the 5-cent coin. As you can realize, there are 4 possibilities. So, as I said, the possibilities increase when you have 2 events occurring at the same time. Okay? Now, let's do the second example. In the second example, we have 2 bags containing 1 blue marble, 1 white marble, 1 green marble each. And we need to draw a possibility space. So, from bag 1, we can say there are 3 possibilities, a blue, a white, and a green. And from bag 2, the second bag, there are the same 3 possibilities, a blue marble, a B, a white W, and a green marble G. Okay? So, I need to draw a possibility space. Now, since the bags don't have a name, don't have a particular name, just like we did in the previous example, we knew that there was a 2-cent coin and a 5-cent coin. They are not given any names. I can use first bag, second bag, as I did, or you can use also bag 1 and bag 2. As I said earlier, it does not matter where you write the first bag or the second bag. You can put the first bag horizontally and the second bag sideways, or as I did, I put the first bag sideways and the second bag horizontally. It does not matter. But it is important now that I need to start from the first bag, wherever it is, and then continue with the second, okay? Till the end of the possibility space. So let's start filling up this possibility space. So the first bag, from the first bag, I'm going to do the rows first because my first bag is written sideways. So from the first bag, I'm going to get a blue marble. And from the second bag, as you can see, it's the column of the blue. So I'm going to get another blue marble. In the box underneath, from the first bag, this time I'm going to get a white marble. Whereas from the second bag, I'm going to get a blue marble because it is the column of the blue. From the first bag, in the box underneath, I'm going to get a green marble. Whereas from the second bag, I'm going to get a blue marble. So as you can see, we have there 3 outcomes. We're going to continue. From the first bag, I'm going to get a blue marble because it is the row of the blue. Whereas from the second bag, I'm going to get a white marble because it is the column of the white. From the first bag, then in the box underneath, I'm going to get a white marble, but from the second bag, I'm going to get another white marble. From the first bag, I'm going to get a green marble, but from the second bag, I'm going to get a white marble. Now, the last column, from the first bag, I'm going to get a blue marble. But from the second bag, I'm going to get a green marble. Remember that this is the column of the green. So, in the box underneath, from the first marble, I'm going to get a white. From the second bag, I'm going to get a green. In the box underneath, from the first bag, I'm going to get a green marble, whereas from the second bag, I'm going to get another green marble. As you can see, from 3 possibilities in each bag, when I have 2 bags and I am choosing a bag from each, I'm choosing a marble from each bag, then the possibilities increase, and from 3 they ended up, as you can see, we have 9 now possibilities in all, 9 outcomes in all. Okay, let's continue with example 3. Example 3, as I told you, you have to draw a larger possibility space because now we have more possibilities. Since 2 ordinary 6-sided dice are being thrown. So, we need to draw a possibility space. From the first dice, we have 6 possibilities in all. Each dice can land on a 1, or on a 2, or on a 3, or on a 4, or on a 5, or on a 6. And the second dice can land similarly on a 1, or a 2, on a 2, on a 3, on a 4, on a 5, or a 6. Okay, so I've listed all the possibilities from each dice. Now, as in the previous example, when we had 2 bags and there was no particular name for them, in this case they are 2 similar ordinary 6-sided dice, so I can label them as either first dice and second dice, as I did, or dice 1 and dice 2, as you prefer. As I mentioned earlier, you can choose to write first dice horizontally, as I did, and the second dice sideways, as I did, or else you can flip them. You can write the first dice sideways and the second dice horizontally. Now let's start filling up the table. Now, from the first dice, the first dice here in the first column, it's landing on a 1, so I open the brackets. And from the first dice, I'm obtaining a 1. From the second dice, since it's the one row, I'm obtaining a 1 as well. Now, I'm continue in the box underneath. So, the first dice here is always landing on a 1. But the second dice here is landing this time on a 2. So, 1, 2. The first dice in the box underneath, it is landing on a 1, but the second dice is landing on a 3. The box underneath, the first dice is landing on a 1, but the second dice is landing on a 4, so it's 1, 4. In the box underneath, the first dice is landing on a 1, but the second dice it's landing on a 5. In the box underneath, the first dice it's landing on a 1, but the second dice it's landing on a 6. So it's 1, 6. As you can realize, since it's the one column, all possibilities start with a 1. Okay? Now let's start with the column of 2. Mela, from the first dice, a 2 is obtained. So 2, from the second dice, a 1 is obtained. So 2, 1. In the box underneath, from the first dice, a 1 is obtained. Sorry, a 2 is obtained. But from the second dice, another 2 is obtained. So 2, 2. From the first dice, a 2 is obtained, whereas from this second dice, a 3 is obtained. So 2, 3. From the first dice in the box underneath, a 2 is obtained, whereas from the second dice, a 4 is obtained. From the first dice, a 2 is obtained, whereas from the second dice, a 5 is obtained. From the first dice, a 2 is obtained, whereas from the second dice, a 6 is obtained. From the first dice in the next column, from the first dice, a 3 is obtained. From the second dice, a 1 is obtained. So it is 3, 1. From the first dice, a 3 is obtained. From the second dice, a 2 is obtained. From the first dice, a 3 is obtained. And from the second dice, another 3 is obtained. And the box underneath, the first dice landed on a 3, but the second landed on a 4. So it's 3, 4. From the first dice, a 3 is obtained, but from the second dice, a 5 is obtained. In the box underneath, the first dice landed on a 3 and the second dice landed on a 6. The fourth column is the column of 4, so the possibilities should start with a 4. Mela, the first possibility is 4 from the first dice and 1 from the second. Then 4 from the first dice, 2 from the second, 4 from the first dice, 3 from the second, then 4 from the first dice and another 4 from the second, 4 from the first dice, 5 from the second, then 4 from the first dice and 6 from the second. Now, the column of 5, they should start with a 5. So, a 5 from the first dice, a 1 from the second, a 5 from the first dice, a 2 from the second, a 5 from the first dice, a 3 from the second, a 5 from the first dice, a 4 from the second, a 5 from the first dice, another 5 from the second, a 5 from the first dice, a 6 from the second. The last column is the column of 6, so all outcomes should start with a 6. A 6 from the first, a 1 from the second, a 6 from the first, a 2 from the second, a 6 from the first, a 3 from the second, a 6 from the first, a 4 from the second, a 6 from the first and a 5 from the second, a 6 from the first and another 6 from the second. As you can realize, now the number of possibilities, the total number of possibilities when tossing two ordinary 6-sided dice together, now it's 6 by 6, which is equal to 36. Those are all the examples that I am giving you for today, boys. Now what you need to do is you need to, I uploaded a worksheet on Clicks to practice, but you need to do it, you need to do your homework on a separate piece of paper because there is no space on the handout itself. And then you need to upload your work again, okay? That's all for today, boys. Take care.